Today I'm going to take you on my process for planning my week. I'm going to add the have-tos plus the want-tos, my dreams and goals, and get it all done. So stay tuned. I love a pretty decorated planner, but at the same time, you want your planner to actually help you stay organized and plan the life that you want. We're going to continue on from last week where I helped you set up a planner for success, and today we're going to go into that planner and actually plan out the life so that you can have your most wonderful life. But first, before we get into the actual planning and into your weekly spreads, your daily spreads, we have to go back a few steps and actually decide what we're going to put into these pages. It's one thing to put a dentist appointment sticker in your planner on the day you have a dentist appointment, but there's so much more to life than, thank goodness there's more to life than dentist appointments. Crazy. There is more to life than when you need to put out the trash and doing laundry and keeping up with the daily to-dos and the dentist appointment. So what we're going to do is to go back a few steps before we actually get into the planner and planning your day, your week, or whatever, and we're going to look at what needs to be done and what you want to be done. So this is my planner from 2018 because at the back I've written my plans for 2019, what I would like to do in 2019. If you've followed me for a while, you know that I love having a dream list. A dream list of 100 things, whether you want to do it in a year or what you want to do in the future sometime. But I really strongly suggest that you have a list of those things that you really, really want to do. You can start off with the things that there's, I call them the shoulds and the have-tos, the things that you need to get done, the things that you should get done, those dreams and goals that everyone else is doing that you think you should do. If you write those in, that'll one, help you get to 100 quicker, but that gets them out of the way. It leaves room for your true dreams to sort of bubble to the surface so that you can write them down and then make them happen. So once you have your dream list started, it's going to be really hard to get to 100, so don't think you're going to do that all in one day. But once you have your dream list started, then I want you to make a second list. And this is my 2019 book, and at the very back I have a master to-do list. I call this my adulting list. You know, the maintenance of your house or things that you need to do either on a regular basis or just things that need to get done. And these can vary from big things like redecorating a bathroom to smaller things like switching out the winter coats for the spring ones. But one thing that these things have in common is once they're done, unless it's like, you know, something you have to do again in another year. And they're things that need to get done in a relatively short period of time, probably within 6 months or a year, and most of them are going to be in the next couple months. But also what they have in common is that you can't just check them off in one little sitting. These are things that you're going to need to break down into smaller steps. You can't just do it all and cross it off. So for example, my son's first communion, I have that broken, because that's coming up soon. I have that broken down in the back of my daily planner, all the tasks that I can think of right now. Of course, I'm going to think of more as time gets close, but I have these down, and these are the things that can basically be crossed off in a sitting or two. So once you have this master list of to-dos, you're going to go through those things. We'll get to that in a second and choose what you need to do. I just want to talk about one more list or schedule that you should have in your arsenal to keep yourself organized, and that's the recurring tasks. Those are the things you do usually every week or every month. These are things like your cleaning schedule, cooking, errands, the things that you do every week or every month that you need to do, and you should keep track of them in some way. I have this wipe off routine that I can check off and then wipe and then start again the next day, so I can keep track of the things that I need to do every day. I also have charts and schedules next to my calendar in my kitchen so that I can remember what I need to do, what my kids need to take to school every day, so that I don't have to keep it in my head. Okay, so now I have all the pieces of what makes up your week, your day, your month, and now we're going to put them into your planner. So just to review, we've got the recurring things that happen often, the big master to-do list, and then some of those, the ones that are coming soon, are going to be broken down into smaller or individual tasks. Then, most importantly for me, is the dream list. And you want to have something where you can put your dreams and your goals down on paper so that you can work on getting closer to achieving those goals. Now, I have all these lists in different planners, different places, but that's only because that's what works for me. If you want to have all these things in one planner, of course, do that. Do what works for you. I just like to have things separated in the way that they're separated in my brain, but you need to find and use a system that works the way your brain does. So don't be overwhelmed by all these different lists and all these different planners. You just need to have the things that you have to do, the things that you want to do, and then a recurring list somewhere in your planner system. Okay, so now what? How do we get from big dreams and goals and all the things I have to do into what's next on my schedule? What do I do right now? Okay, so I'm going to take you through my process of planning out one of my weeks. Now, I don't add the recurring tasks. I do have some things that are sort of bigger that I will add to my weekly spread, but for the most part, this is why I have this list, this routine, this schedule, and the other ones that are in my kitchen so that I don't have to rewrite them every week in here. Now, I do have a few things that I will write in every week because they are sort of bigger. They take up a lot of my time, and it just makes more sense to have them here because, well, one, because it fills in the spaces. Because, for example, when I do my mama taxi duties on Tuesdays, I'm basically in my car from 12:30 to about 8 o'clock at night. And that's no word of a lie. I am home for at one point for an hour, but that's the longest stretch that I'm at home. So it makes sense for me to put that in here. Other things that are recurring that I will add here that either aren't on this schedule or are, but I want to add here as well, are things, new habits, new things. This year, for example, my boys go to hockey early Wednesday morning before school, but they can't take their hockey bags to school with them, so I go to pick them up. So it's something that I don't automatically think of to do, so I will write that in. Then I will go to the calendar in my kitchen where everyone's schedules for the whole family are in one place, and I'll write anything that has to do with me if I'm driving them or if it's an appointment for me. Then I will write them into my planner here. The way I use this planner, it's the Commit 30 by the way, is that these bigger white spaces are where I put my things, work stuff, that kind of thing that's just me, and then the family stuff is sort of smaller down here because this stuff is also on the calendar in the kitchen, so I don't need to have it in the prime real estate of my personal planner. The next thing that I do is I will write down all my life to-dos and my work to-dos, and where I will start with that is I will go back to last week and I will circle anything that doesn't get done. So anything that's circled, depending on whether it's life or work, I will write it in the list here. My next step is going to my master to-do list and seeing if there's anything on here that needs to get done this week. If it doesn't need to get done this week, I will go back to it in a minute once I know how much extra time I'm going to have during the week. But if something that has a deadline of this week or maybe the next week and I know it's going to take a lot of time, I'll put it in. But otherwise, if it's a little bit off in the future, I'll leave it for now and come back to it in a minute. If I do have events that I'm already working on off of this list, like my son's communion, which I have written out here, I will go here and see if there's anything that needs to be done this week. For example, I need to make the invites this week and I need to get them out. So I've got that written here. Actually, I had it written last week, but I didn't get it done. So we're going to do that this week. Next, any work tasks that need to get done, I'm going to list here. And even though I make a YouTube video every week, I still write it in here because that keeps it top of mind for me. Then if there's any habits that I'm working on or anything that I'm going to do on a daily basis that I really want to keep top of mind, I'm going to write them in these spaces above. So for me this week, it's the KonMariing of my house. It's taking forever and I'm not doing it every day. So I'm putting it up here to really remind myself to get that done every day. Now that I have everything that's happening this week either listed here or already in the calendar, I'm going to break these things down into cross-offable tasks. If you don't know what cross-offable means, I'm going to send you to this video here that you can watch and learn about that. Basically, you want to break things down into smaller tasks that are done in doable chunks. So I'm going to write those in now. Okay, once everything is written in, then I can see where the spaces are. Now, I've only really gone as far as Thursday, even Wednesday. I do half of the week at a time because then I will reassess Wednesday night or Wednesday afternoon and decide what I haven't gotten done is going to get moved over instead of adding extra stuff in here. So you can see I have a few spaces free. I have a couple spaces here and here. We're going to leave this half of the week for now because I don't know yet what I'm not going to get done that needs to be pushed over. So I can see I have a few spaces here. So what I'm going to do with these spaces is to go into this list and see if there's anything here that I can get done and add to these spaces that are free. Now I have this list here which I'm working on. So I'm going to go to my son's communion to-do list and pick from there some tasks, and I'm going to add them in. And I also have something from my dream list that I'm working on, and that's hosting planner events. And since that's something that's sort of, well, I hope is going to be recurring and continuing, not like the communion, which is just a one-time thing, so I've put it here. But since it's going to happen hopefully over and over, I've got its own little TN. So I have a list here, master to-do list in here, that I can pick from and add to these two spots here. So I'm going to do that now. And that's it. Now this half of my week is full and I can go about and do each task as it comes up in my day. Now I don't have things listed at certain times of the day, but I do have my routine, so I know what time slots, which are anywhere from 5 for 2 hours long, that I do these certain things. If you want more information on that, I'm going to send you to this video, which is all about calendar blocking in a paper planner. Also, if you're having trouble with a dream list, Amy Landino just put out a fantastic video about finding your passion. So that's a great place to start to help you find some ideas for your 100 dream list. I like the weekly setup for me. It gives me sort of an overview of the whole week, but then I can concentrate on each day. It's just enough information, just enough foresight without getting overwhelming. It's a good little chunk for me. Now, this may not work for you. You need to figure out what works for you. Maybe you're a daily person. Maybe you go half week like I do. You could try with a monthly, but the thing with monthly is it's really big. You don't have a lot of space for each day, but you've got a lot of things to look at in the future. It's good to have an overview, but for your regular planning out your day, I would try weekly or daily first. Now, of course, you've got weekly vertical, weekly horizontal, and that's a different story. But basically, you need to try to see what works for you, and it really is just a lot of trial and error. Planning this way, using the system that I've just described to you, where you take things that you need to get done, add things from your master to-do list and your dream list, is a great way to actually have a plan for your life, a plan that's more proactive than reactive. You're not just adding in the things that you need to do, you're adding in things that you want to do. And it allows you to work toward those cool stuff that you really want to get done. Now, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe. Next week, I have a project that's coming up for Carpe Diem that's close to my heart, and I'm really excited about it, so I can't wait to share that with you. So make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss that. Also, don't forget to like this video and comment below whether you use a daily planner, a weekly planner, horizontal, vertical. Let me know what system you're using right now. Have a fantastic day and happy planning. Oh my god. This year, for example, my boys go to hockey early set. So what we're going to do is wait for this plane to go by, and then we're going to continue. And these can vary. Why are there so many planes?